get started with your artist talk, and we'll like formalize this thing that's already been happening.
Yeah, good. Well,
So thank you for coming out. This is our first Saturday at the Oblivion Gallery event, where we have artist talks and events that are interesting to people who are interested in art. So I've known of Cindy's work for a couple of years and mostly followed her on social media and was really attracted to the bright, playful colorfulness, and we talked about her showing here, and she was interested in presenting a particular body of work that is a little different than that, which is really exciting to us. So please welcome Cindy Ingram.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. Let me know if I mess up the audio.
I won't be able to tell until later.
Oh, okay.
We're recording this, so it'll be available on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
For this intimate crowd.
That's fine.
Yeah, so this body of work here is all about stuff that I've done when I was sad. I think you might have heard me talk about that. And that's new for me because usually if I'm in a good mood, I feel like creating art. But when I'm sad, I feel like disappearing and just laying in bed and under the covers, So it was a real challenge for me to force myself to make art even though it was sad, So it was also very healing because it was a way to process a lot of loss and grief. So maybe what I would do is tell you what my process is, and then answer any questions. But first I wanted to show you something. I have never really made sculptures before, but as I was trying to process what is grief or what is sadness, I had I had a flower farm, so I have a lot of farm equipment and stuff. And so I went into the greenhouse and I grabbed some chicken wire, and I have different kinds of colored powders and concrete. And I was just kind of started making stuff. And I realized afterwards, which is consistent with what I do, is I act first, and then I look at it and I think, I wonder what that is, And what I realized is this is the pain I was feeling. This was in my throat. This is my the lump in my throat. And it's really tactile, so I thought I'd pass it around. You want to hold the lump in my throat? Yeah. Come on in. So 3 years ago, January 1st, just past midnight, I had a lot of wine and I was by myself. And I was like, I wish that I was more artistic. I've worked at galleries and I was a fundraiser for galleries and I had events at galleries, but I never actually made the art myself. So I was like, my New Year's resolution is to be more artsy. And being a little drunk and a little impulsive, I went into the garage, and when I bought the house, there was old spray paint and happened to be an old beat up, dirty canvas in the corner. And I just started spray painting it, and there was some sand, and I started throwing it, and I made my first painting. So that was 3 years ago. And now, actually, as today, there are about 100 paintings in shows. So there's 3 shows in Eugene and 2 shows in Portland and 1 in Reedsport. So it's it happened really fast. So what I've learned in my process is I get a canvas and different sizes. My favorite are the really big ones. And I put a tarp down on my driveway and I just spray paint with no plan. It's just more of I like this color, I like that color. And sometimes I throw stuff at it, and I will grab paper or different things like that, and I'll smear or I'll leave it on and spray paint over. The purpose of it is to create kind of a understory, so that once it dries, I bring it in the house and I kind of turn it around and I think, which way is the top, And I start putting acrylic paint on it. And my goal is I try to be as empty as possible. So like, have you ever like stared at something for a while and things get kind of blurry? Or you can kind of squeeze, like try it right now. Can you squeeze the inside of your ears? Can you feel like your eardrum squeeze? Can anyone do that? No? It's like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's like you purposefully blur, I blur my thought process so that I do not hear my inner critic. I just try to get empty, and I'm just like, whatever, and I just grab stuff, and I start doing things. And sometimes I can be in that state for 30 minutes, for 2 hours, or 5 minutes, and I'm sort of out of it, and I go out and get some coffee or whatever, and it depends. And then when I'm done, then I kind of look at it, and I think, well, what is this wanting to be? And I turn it, and I turn it, and I start adding ink and markers and things like that, and that's when it sort of, I kind of tease out like it's actually wanting to be something. A lot of markers, like Sharpies, but actually my favorite thing, have you heard of the website Bombing Science? Oh, I highly recommend that you check it out, especially in metals, because bombingscience.com, I think it is all like art supplies for graffiti artists. So when you tag a train car, you need to have a paint that will cover everything, and it needs to dry fast, right? And so I discovered these different types of pens and inks. I think it was TikTok. Yeah.
She's famous on TikTok.
Yeah.
And makes money from it.
I do. Yeah, I'm an influencer. I make like travel content and flower stuff and whatever. But like, so I discovered that you can have all these different kinds of markers. And I mean, you're welcome to sit, or you can come and check it out. But like trying to think of like, maybe, I don't know if you can see the white here. That's actually like a white, it's not pastel, but it's creamy like that. But it dries super fast, and it will cover everything. A lot of times it's hard to cover something because you still see what's underneath it, and this is like, boy, once it's on there, it's not coming off, and glass and metal and whatever. So yeah, so those kinds of markers. And then also, there's this stuff called, they're like squeezies. So if you're gonna tag on a wall or something, you squeeze this liquid ink, and it drips, and that's kind of a cool thing. Hello. It's kind of a cool thing that graffiti artists do where they like squeeze ink and it drips down. So here I am, like I'm a 52-year-old woman that lives in Cottage Grove and have been a flower farmer for the last 4 years. And the majority of the stuff I use is like 20-year-old stuff that graffiti artists use. I just discovered how much I like, there's something really rebellious about spray paints and inks and whatever. Yeah. We were just passing around look behind you. This show, if you just came in, this show is about art that I've done when I was sad. And that is actually my sadness. It's like if you could figure out what's the sadness in this lump, like when I would cry, it would just be stuck here. I don't know if it's like a throat chakra thing, but it was just like, and it would just stop here. And I was like, I think I made that. So that's what that is. I'm working on it, yeah. What I need to do is be like, throw it and stomp it. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So I don't know, does anyone have any questions?
So you said your first painting was 3 years ago.
Uh-huh.
And you're primarily self-taught and self-explored.
Yeah.
And you have grown to, you opened a solo show in Portland yesterday.
Yeah.
That's an amazing trajectory
It is.
Do you want to talk about like the process of sort of going from feeling like most artists can't do that or do not have the self-confidence
Yeah.
and the energy to pull that off. Like that's remarkable.
Thank you. Well, years ago, I was in a bluegrass band and then the Whiskey Chasers and this other band called the Eager Beavers, all girl band.
The Eager Beavers.
Yes, I remember you took some good photos and video, I think. And all my friends were in bands, and I was like, I should help bands and start doing booking. So at that time, I was working for Looking Glass and helping homeless youth find housing. And what I discovered is that the smile and dial, you get a goal and you're just like, I'm gonna call everybody, I'm gonna email everybody, I'm gonna whatever until I get what I'm going for. It's actually the same skill. So to get a band from LA to San Francisco to Seattle on tour is the same skill that you would use to get your art into a gallery or to get homeless youth into residential facility or whatever. It's that audaciousness. You just keep on asking. And I think it's quieting the inner critic that says you can't do that. So once I started painting a lot, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to close my farm down. I was a flower farmer. I was like, I'm gonna take this kind of seriously as if it was my job. And so I just started advocating for myself as if I was on tour, which I have been on tour. So every month I travel around moving paintings from one gallery to another and all of that. And no one taught me really how to do that. I just kind of learned as I went. So do you guys remember an event in Eugene called the Eugene Celebration?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was the assistant director of that, and I created there was Sustainability Village and the Community Causeway, these different parts. And so I just made those up and learned how to create different parts. I don't know, it's all the same skill, I guess. But nobody really taught me. I just kind of figured it out. So a few months ago, I dipped my toe in and I'm learning how to use Canva, and I made a PowerPoint presentation. And at the Hybrid in the Whitaker, I taught a workshop it's called Now What? So you made art, now what are you supposed to do with it? So it's a workshop on what do you do? So you need to write a bio. What is a bio? What is an artist statement? What's the difference between the two? How do you apply for shows? Yeah, that's okay. So I created that workshop because I realized that other artists don't have that skill, and I don't know why I do. I just do it. So that was my first run, and it went well at the Hybrid. And so I just got on contract. The Corvallis Art Center asked me to turn that one workshop into 3. And so I'll teach sort of beginning, intermediate, and advanced and advanced being how to get funding, how to write, because I'm a grant writer. So how do you write grants to fund for these things? So maybe that's the next step for me, is going more into helping other artists do stuff. Yeah.
I have a question, maybe because we missed the beginning of your talk.
Yeah.
Did you talk about your work as an artist in residence?
Oh, no, I didn't. So one of the things that I really love to do personally is I like to travel. And I tend to be a solo traveler. So I like to live out of a backpack, and I like to arrive into new places I've never been. And then I learned about this thing called an artist residency, which is just like getting a band on tour, right? It's the same thing. And I was like, if you just, while you're sitting, watching reality TV on the couch, you're Googling on your phone artist residency opportunities like every day for months and months, and you apply for all of these different opportunities. I applied for like 120.
Wow.
And I got 2. Actually, I got 4, but I decided not to do 2 of them because they weren't something I wanted to do. But the 2 that I was able to do, I got paid and all the expenses, everything. I went to Kavala, Greece for a month, and they put me on my own apartment, and I shared a studio with 3 other artists, 2 from Australia and 1 from New Zealand.
But you don't bring your paintings.
No.
Okay.
And we had an art show.
Yeah.
But I brought little tiny postcard type size, thinking, okay, well, I could make stuff there, and then when I get home, have an art show about it. And what I discovered is I really hate small things. I don't. So like I was doing it, and I tried putting them all together on the floor and stuff, but I didn't want